My name is Keturah. I am 23 and I am from Virginia. When I was a kid, I didn't really have a great idea or understanding of what was happening, and basically that whatever I had was a lot different from the normal life my friends were living.
My name is Dr. Nicholas Theodore. I'm a professor of neurosurgery, orthopedic surgery, and biomedical engineering at Johns Hopkins, and I head up the neurosurgical spine program at Johns Hopkins. Keturah is a young woman who was born with what we call a lipomyelomeningocele, which is a large fatty tumor at the base of the spinal cord at the bottom. What happens is that anchors the spinal cord. While it's stuck to the bottom from this fatty tumor, the spinal cord's under stretch. And that stretch causes a tremendous amount of symptoms. It can cause pain, it can cause weakness, it can cause numbness, it can cause bowel and bladder dysfunction. And these patients are miserable. It's an absolutely horrifying existence for those that develop this chronic pain.
It wasn't until I was about 6 months old that my mother was noticing some different anatomy than my siblings. So I had some MRI scans done, and that's where I was diagnosed formally.
Keturah had multiple interventions, surgeries at the bottom of her spine with an attempt to take some of the fatty tumor away and an attempt to loosen up some of the adhesions that may be causing the stretch. So with every surgery that she got better for a short period of time and then got worse. Got a little bit better and then got worse.
The surgeries at that point were no longer necessarily beneficial to me long term.
One of the things I've become very interested in is something called spinal column shortening, where we actually take out a vertebral body, in this case T12, and shorten the spinal column. And in doing so, we also take away the tension from the spinal cord.
The surgery was my only option for a future of no pain, for a future of being able to do the things that I would want. Where my other option would be to continue with the untethering surgeries, but eventually that would do more harm than good, and I may end up in a wheelchair within a matter of time.
So after a long discussion about the procedure, she decided that she wanted to go forward. Well, one of the challenges was her very small pedicles. This young woman had pedicles about 2 to 3 millimeters, and putting those in freehand or even with image guidance really is not an option. Utilizing enabling technology like the ExcelsiusGPS robotic system allowed me very precisely to cannulate the center of that pedicle and then expand it. So the ability to not just use the robot, but also to use navigation in lockstep with the robotics is really a game changer.
After the spinal shortening surgery that Dr. Theodore performed, I was walking, I believe, 3 days after the surgery. 2 months later, I was able to go back to college, and I started doing boxing probably 3 months later after the surgery, and running and all the activities I enjoy doing.
She did amazingly well. So this is a young woman who was up out of bed and literally on the first day after surgery was walking in the halls, which is unheard of because this is a multi-level thoracolumbar fusion.
I fully believe I would not have kids, and being a mom was my biggest dream. But yeah, now here I am, 2 or 3 years later, and I'm married. I have a child that I can chase after, I can pick her up, I can do things very independently. I don't need to require the help of other people. Because of the surgery, the blessing of Dr. Theodore and his robot, I am very grateful to be where I am today and to be living out the dreams that I've always wanted to.